Hello YouTube, this is the Java Programmer, and in our last videos we have been building out our signal manager, strategy manager, signals, strategies, and we haven't really got too far on the strategy side of things, but we're just building up the infrastructure to be able to handle this. So right now we're looking at our EMA 20 price crossover signal. And what this is going to do is it's going to generate a signal when the price crosses over the 20 moving average, or that you would normally see on a chart. So what we have here, we need to, first off, we need to run our program and see if this thing even works. And so let's just go through that real quick here. So in our app, we have an Oanda API program. And in the program, we have now created a signal manager, a strategy manager, both of which having the event queue for being able to send these events back and forth. And here's our routers. So rate events and register signal events are going to go to the signal manager, and a signal event is going to go to the strategy manager. So I think I have this all hooked up right. I don't know. We're going to test this real time, and we'll go from there. So we're logging into Oanda, getting some prices, and oh, look at that. I can't believe it. It worked the first time. That's amazing. So here we have our EMA. Basically what's getting called is this update price right here. So every time there's a price change on the Euro USD, it's coming into this signal. Now, we really need to get an indicator going here so that we can get the EMA and have it triggered by this price update, because we know the price has changed and we want to see what the new EMA is. Oh, there's a whole bunch of prices coming in. So anyway, let's also throw some charts on this and watch it and see what happens to see if we can see when this event would occur. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the program, and I want to look back at our test rates program. We wrote this a while back, and I am going to sort of gut this. What we had here was, here's our Oanda brokerage client, but we don't need that. We do, however, need to be able to get an instrument based on, we're going to need these items. So those items are going to come in here, and they're going to go right there. Now, as you can see, the signal does not have a client, which it's going to need access to a client, because it's going to be going after this particular pair and this particular chart type. So we're not going to need the MACD, obviously, because we are not, this is all that we, come on mouse. This is all that we're looking at here. So we have a data, we set up a data instrument. I'm thinking we're going to need to probably do this with these private. So the question is how to get this client to a signal. Let's look at where we have the client. So in our signal manager, we do not have a client. How about our strategy manager? Strategy manager does not have a client either. Let's see, where do we have our client? Here's our client, but it's not being used. So it seems like we might want to send our client into our signal manager. The signal manager definitely needs access. Let's see. When we get a signal, let's see, when we register, oh, so wrong spot. In our signal manager, if we had a client in here, if we had, when we registered a signal, if we gave that signal a client that it could use, then the signal class would have a client. But I'm not sure, because if we over in the strategy manager, when we create a, where do we create our signals? So we say get signals, strategy.get signals. So in our strategy class, we create a bunch of signals based on the types. Crossover signal, let's see. So possibly when our signal is created, which is right here, we may need to send it a client, which comes into the strategy, which is created here. So, but the thing is that the strategy manager is going to work very much the same way. It's going to get a strategy request or register strategy or start, run this strategy. And I think the signals need to be separate from the strategies. So I think the best place to register, or I should say send the, I think we need to do it here. So for instance, s.set client, and we will get that. So the signal manager will have access to the client. So we need to send that in when we create the signal manager, and that's going to be here in the program. So signal manager is going to get the client and the event queue. So change the constructor, brokerage client, which is the generic form of it. So it's not a specific. This dot client equals client. And then here, we're going to set the client when we register. And that's going to go here. This dot client equals no. Like so. Of course, the field doesn't exist. We're going to create field. Yep. It's not going to be private. It's going to be protected. So that anybody that extends signal will have access to the client. Okay. I'm not sure I like this, but for now, this is what we're going to need to do. And also, like I said before, signals are going to have to use this event queue, and I'm not sure. Maybe we need to do that here as well. s.set event queue. Instead of doing it this way, let's just call an init method that does both these at the same time, where we can initialize the signal, and it won't be active until that has actually been run. And that's also going to be protected. Okay, we'll need that later on. So for now, we just init with client and events queue. And we're only going to do that if it's a new signal. Okay. So now I'm passing in this client into our signal. So we have access to it. Let's look at our EMA signal. We should have client. Yes, client now is no longer red. Okay, I'm going to have to end the video here. But in our next video, we will actually, we've got the indicator. We're going to print, every time we get in this update price, we are going to print out the EMA and see what it says. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like in the bottom corner. And this is the Job Programmer.